I, Reverend MeeLing, Reverend Susan MeeLing, Lady Dori, Belle, Lady MeeLing, America, God, whatever. I've been known by quite a few names. One name that I have most been known by in the lifestyle in regards to where I've gone, especially in the state of Texas, had been obviously the one and the only Lady Dori Belle. Now, in the state of Texas, specifically in Austin, the amount of whiny, childish, titty baby temper tantrums that I had dealt with because of the ridiculous amount of individuals who thought that just because they had gone to college and read a book or two, that automatically gave them some sort of expertise, which by technicalities, in certain regards, yes. In my opinion, you have expertise when you have a master's degree and or a PhD. However, the majority of individuals that I wound up dealing with did not have at minimum a master's degree or a PhD, nor were they even going for a master's degree or a PhD. Now, one particular individual, as I knew him, was on FetLife as HC Coyote or Travis. And this boy, although biologically an adult, we did not get along at all. We did not get along whatsoever. However, he did get along quite well with Philip Olmsted, or Donnie Darko on FetLife, or Donnie or Darko or whatever it was. Two of them hit it off like that. He and I did not get along whatsoever. I tolerated him. I was nice. I was myself. However, Travis or HC Coyote and I, we did not see eye to eye at all. Like, there were certain philosophical points that we could discuss. However, for whatever excuse he had, he thought he could be dumble to me. And it was one of those, no. I don't know who you think you're speaking to, but I'm gonna let you know. So the first time I met HC Coyote or Travis or whatever, Donnie Darko or whatever he went by on FetLife, Philip Olmsted nonetheless, and, you know, sat down with me. And it was at a TNG Austin Munch, or the Next Generation Austin Munch. This was in 2010. And, you know, show up and Philip Olmsted actually convinced me to go. I was like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, something tells me I'm not going to get along with some of these individuals. And not in the average sort of, like, you know, agree to disagree. But, like, I have a feeling that I'm just not going to get along with these guys. Like, I just have a feeling. And so Philip was just like, oh, it's going to be great. It's like, yeah. Or it's going to go exactly as I feel it's going to go. And then it's going to be a constant issue that I don't have patience for. And, oh, come on, blah, 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 wait. I guess. I can give it, I'll try it. I'll see how this goes. So, go to the Munch and sit down. I was at a coffee house somewhere in Austin, of course. And so, you know, introduced myself, and everyone was kind of like, what, because hi, I'm Lady Dori Belle. Hi. And it's like, do you not know what a handshake is? And, uh, and then, like, 9 out of 10 of them, it was, it's like, woo, it's gonna be interesting, okay, because if that's what you're gonna give me as a handshake, woo, all right, if that, okay, and so, whether or not they knew about my modeling aspect, I don't know. Whether or not they knew about my scuba diving, I don't know. I don't care. I didn't care back then. They've learned by this point, I'm going to guesstimate. And so, it was a really deep dive. So the pressure from, that. I don't know which one's more pressure, a bunch of like them or in the Matthias Abyss. I'm gonna go with the Matthias Abyss has a little bit more pressure than what I dealt with at that time, or realistically. So obviously it's known what I was dealing with as far as like my daughter and that whole thing because of certain issues, and then making sure my son was okay and all that stuff. And so okay, I'll try to get along. Like, I've gotten along with people that are younger than me. I've gotten along with people that are older than me far easier than people who are younger than me or my age. However, the people that I've gotten along with that are younger than me, either if they don't have military backgrounds, usually it's because they were raised in an area that we could, stand on similar ground of understanding, like, all right, not that I want that to happen to anybody else, but I get you in that regard. And then there's the group of those that are my age or younger or older that I don't get along with, that are they're overprivileged, they feel they are entitled to whatever, and think that just because mommy and daddy, had done so much for them that like everybody else is gonna like wipe their butt for them. And no. Especially being a BDSM event, no. That, no, that, I gave birth to 2 children after carrying them full term. I'm not gonna wipe your behind for you. Just say. That is what it is. So, point being, just, no. So there were like 20 or 30 of these TNGers there. And each one of them that I went to shake their hands, out of all of them, there was only one guy, who had actually shook my hand and like, actually shook my hand. That wasn't like a this. That was like, hey, nice to meet, and looked me in my eyes, and like, and ironically, he was one of the older ones. And he was, about to no longer be allowed to be in TNG because he had hit the 35-year-old threshold. And it was just, but he was like the only one who like shook my hand that day and like actually shook my hand. And so the rest, I know that there's like maybe 1 or 2 others, but like actually like shaking, I was like, hey, okay, cool. That's not, not so, even in regards to Travis or HC Coyote, it's like, so, as the conversation, discussion, whatever went on, there were a few, well, what about you, Lady Dori Belle? I mean, my opinion. Well, you just moved here from Dallas. Yeah, I did. Is this the welcoming committee? Is this how the welcoming goes on in this area? Well, I mean, are you vetted in the TNG community? Um, Technically, no. No, I'm not technically vetted in the TNG community in Austin. Okay. Well, I mean, we don't know about you, was a few of the females, and I was like, okay, who do you think I am? And they were like, oh, well, this is my dominant. This is my. Oh, let me make this clear to you, sweet cheeks. I am not you. I am not a submissive. I am not a slave. Let me make sure that there is that clear understanding. I'm not looking at your dominant. So let me clarify that for you. I am a dominant sadist. So there's no need for that sort of thing. Let me clarify that for you, so that way you have that understanding. What do you mean you're a dominant in the, like you're a girl? What? I am? Oh, I thought I was born as one, but, oh, okay, that's right, okay, hold on. Yeah, okay, I'm still, yeah, still, just making sure I didn't, like, hide anything, just making sure, okay, yeah, I was born as a female, I'm a female, and guess what? Females can be dominants. Surprise! Hello! And so some of the males were like, excuse me? What do you mean? You're a tall little boy. Yeah, no, let me clarify that for you. I am a dominant sadist. And just because I'm a female does not mean that I do not make that mistake. Do not make that mistake. And one guy, HC Coyote, or Travis, said, oh, well, I can get anyone to be, submissive. I don't think so. I don't think so. See, you have to actually want that, and that is not who I am at all. Let me clarify that for you. And he's like, well, I could get, can't you just say, Dad? Oh, I could say, hey, Daddy. Yeah, I could say that. That don't mean that makes you my daddy, because I'll tell you right now, you don't want that, because, you're not, you didn't create my life, so, But hey, Daddy, who you be, huh? You think that you're what? He's like, I got you to say Daddy. I don't think you understand the tone of my voice when in that reference. See, do you know what sarcasm is? Do you know what being facetious means? I mean, and it's like, yeah, I could go into so many things as to, but I will be nice. I'll just be myself and bite my tongue. And the rest of that particular first meeting, he just, it's like, little boy, I don't care that you're taller than me. I will knock you down like you don't know. Like, I will grab you by your little ponytail and swing you around like a little lasso and then throw you. In my thoughts, that's what I was thinking. I didn't say that out loud. In my thoughts, it was just one of those, oh, little boy. Do not make that mistake. Do not make that mistake. And so a bunch of the male dominants that were there, they just kind of, I didn't know that females could have balls that big. And it's like, oh, honey, you don't know about strap-ons, do you? we can change them out. That's not a problem. That's a luxury that females have that you males don't. You are born with what you're born with. And so, we're kind of a little different in that way. We can we can do as we do. And you can put it on as an attachment, just like females can, but then you have the constant reminder when you're wearing one that those are not your actual balls. And so, and that there were a few other male dominants that just kind of, you don't have to, it's like, we're having fun, right? We're just, and they're like, some of them were like, you're kind of mean. Like, what type of humor is that? Have you ever met anybody from New Jersey before? And a bunch of them were like, no. Oh. Have you ever met anybody who was in the military before? So? Okay, well, I was born and raised in New Jersey. And I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 when I was in basic training after I had gotten myself emancipated to join. So you're in the state of Texas, just to let you know. There's a couple military bases in the vicinity. And then one of the male dominants was like, and I was like, okay. And you seem meaner than a military guy. Oh. Ooh. I'm actually being nice. So I guess that's a clarification that you should have. And a bunch of the, what? Yeah, if you think that's mean when I'm being nice, don't piss me off. Yeah, that will not end well for you at all. I'm being nice. You're being nice? Yes, I'm being nice. I'm smiling. You see the smile on my face? Yeah, I'm being nice. As long as I'm smiling, everything's cool. It's if you get me to be angry, then you don't want to make me angry. And one guy, guess which one? I bet you can guess which one. HC Coyote was like, I kind of think it would be interesting to see you angry. And I instantly looked over at him like, let me explain something to you. It is not a good thing if I am angry. It is not a good thing. I can tell you that right now. Why not? I don't really have the words to explain that. However, when I have to, and I started looking upward because, I was one of those, I'm just kind of look at the sky. Oh, look, there's a cloud. When I get angry and I have to start focusing my energy elsewhere, things tend to happen and, I prefer to be in a good mood. And he goes, well, that sounds kind of like, have you ever been checked for bipolar? What? You had a head injury, so, there's like mental issues. excuse me? Do you have a doctor's degree? And when I say doctor's degree, I mean MD. Do you have a doctor's degree? No, I've read books. Okay. There are actual doctors with actual degrees because of their studies and their experiences. And I have gone through quite a few medical things, so do not attempt to evaluate me when you know nothing about it. And he just, well, you know, Philip starts laughing. He's like, yeah, you know, it's like, yeah, Chuckles, shut up. Like, you don't need to push that any further at all. And Travis was like, you know, I mean, like, but I, you know, zip it. Do you know who I am in the community? I'm like the main dumb and blah 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 blah. No, I haven't heard of you. And I mean, what is your experience? If you want to, you know, discuss your dumbly. Don't say dumbly. Why are you laughing? You got mad because I said dumbly. Woo! Hold on a second. You're upset because of dumbly. No, don't. Oh. Oh. You're mad because I said dumbly. Don't you say dumbly. Whoo! Give me a minute. Woo! My tummy hurts. And he was just, well, why does your tummy hurt? And I was like, oh, you said tummy, but I can't say dumbly. Don't you say dumbly? And I didn't say tummy. You did it again. Oh, he got mad. And I'm just like, come on, you know, we're just having a good time. He's like, and it's like, is that scary? Are you being... Is that, or can I not say scary because you're being all dumbly. Not dumbly. Woo! You know what, Billy? You were right. This actually could be fun.
So here we are on Memorial Day weekend 2020. The quintessential.
I was listening to Judge Janine earlier. I really like her. Excuse me on that. So, yeah, so Travis continued on with it. And it's like, yeah, this is... You're mad because I said dumbly. Ooh. Just as a FYI, I don't know if I said this before. I'm a dominant sadist. And you are upset about me saying doublet, 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 doublet. So, like, keep that in mind. And so the guy who was like the older one that was about, he's like, so Lady Dori, Belle, like, what is one thing that we should, he just kept looking back and forth and he's just like, oof. Oh my God. And I was sitting there like, what's up? And he goes, so what's one thing that, like, we should know about you? Oh, I could be your best friend or your worst enemy. And that guy just kind of, oh my God, and you said you had a head injury when Palm Sunday in 2000. Okay. And then Travis started running his mouth some more, and and Titty Baby Philly was, yeah, I'm kind, but like, nah, because, she's kind of, she's her own person, so, she's like, yeah. Don't think I didn't hear that. And he just, well, you just you. And it's like, yeah. Yes, I am. I am me. Yes, I am. So, one of the next events I had seen HC Coyote or Travis was an actual TNG event. And I had sat down on a couch that was at this guy's house. And I was talking with some people. Well, Travis decided he was going to sit on the couch. Like, he actually ordered some people to move that were sitting on the couch with me. I look over at him like, okay. Whatever. And so then he got up and he comes back and he had a blow dart gun. And I look at him, I'm like, what is that? And he goes, it's a blow dart gun. Duh. So you got a blow dart gun inside a house with projectiles. He goes, yeah, it's really cool. Do you know how to aim that? And he was just, well, I mean, da-da-da. And initially the discussion actually was more philosophical. And so, I kind of figured it was going to go continuing in that direction. But then he went and got the blow dart gun. And I was like, well, that just ended the philosophical discussion completely. Because are you loading that? And he goes, well, it's, and I'm like, yeah, but do you have the consent of the person who owns the house, as well as whoever you're looking at blowing that at? And he was like, I could do whatever I want. I mean, I don't think that's a good idea. Do you reuse those darts? And he goes, well, of course. Do you sanitize them? And he goes, why would I sanitize them? Okay, so a blow dart has a pointy side, correct? Yeah. And if the pointy side hits your target, or not, either way, it tends to puncture the skin, correct? Yeah. And you don't feel the need to sanitize that? Why would I? Have you ever heard of blood-borne pathogens? It's not that big of a deal. Coming from the guy who wanted to try to assess my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. I don't know. Maybe there's somebody with an MD or even a associate's degree who could tell you. Maybe they don't even need an associate's degree to inform you that's a bad idea. By a lot. Whatever, Lady Dori Belle, you get. Okay, you go be doubly. Don't doubly. Alright, well, I'm gonna go outside and smoke because I just can't. I just can't. I can't. You know, for a dominant female, you sure have like a funny way of showing it. Everybody's type of dominance is a little bit different. Mine is mine. I'm okay with being dominant. Don't say dominant. I just kept walking. Can you believe she said dominant? And then like he had a whole bunch of like females who were like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah. And so at that particular place, I would have to take my shoes off because of a certain type of flooring that was down. It's like, okay, I get this, you know, like, because it's, you know, mats and stuff like that. It's like, okay, and, you know, go put my shoes on. It's like, and a corset and, you know, a skirt like this, that's difficult, but, you know, not my house, so, you know, rules of the house. And at my house and even my apartment, except for, you know, when doing the video stuff, you know, shoes off at the door. Don't you wear your shoes in my house. Don't you do that. It's have a thing. Personal preference. And so, you know, don't want to track all that and stuff like that and all that, whatever. So, you know, go and into the smoking section, and the owner of the house was there. I was like, hey. He goes, hey, Lady Dori, well, what's going on? And I was like, so, your house, your rules, you're hosting. I appreciate you hosting. I'm not wanting to be a tattletale. I know I probably might come across as one. However, this is more along the lines for the safety of, you know, your house and, like, people in it. What's up? And told him about the blow dart thing. And he was like, oh, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's like a 4-foot long blow dart gun. And so, you know, depending on that sort of stuff, that can be some severe damage. And I don't know what type of blow darts he's using with that or anything like that. However, you know, your house, how you choose to deal with that is how you choose to deal with that. Like, not denying it. I will say on my way out, there was this female who was on the St. Andrew's cross. And like the guys were much taller than even Travis. And broader shoulders and stuff like that. The female was shorter than me. And smaller shoulders. And they were, you know, BDSM event. Okay. But they were hitting her in the kidneys with floggers. And, oh, irony of rain starting right now. And I had told them that they needed to not hit her in the kidneys. And one of the guys stopped and he goes, who are you? And I'm like, well, I'm Lady Dori Belle, but that's not of importance right now. What is important is that you don't hit her in the kidneys because she's tiny. And it doesn't matter if she's tiny or not. hitting a female in the kidneys, or anybody, if you hit them the wrong way, you can bruise the kidney. If she pees blood, it's too late. There's damage. And she needs to be taken to an emergency room. So, like, whoever is with her, like, whichever one of you guys, you need to make sure that you check on her. Because with the way you're hitting her, I don't care that she's a masochist. I don't care that at all. There are some severities that you need to pay attention to in regards to that. Now, mind you, this is before I went through the Austin Dominant Mentor Program and then graduated in the Dallas Dominant Mentor Program, just as an FYI. And so it's still 2010 at that point. And so, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, well, I'm letting you know I actually do. And if you do any research of the physical body, you will see where you are striking her. It is not her backside. It's not her butt. You're hitting her kidneys. Well, her kidneys are on the inside. What's the big deal? That's the point. With the brunt force that you're using and where you are striking her, you can cause irreversible damage. If she pisses blood tomorrow, or even within the next 5 days, there is damage there. It's actually better, ironically, if she pees blood tomorrow, because the damage can be detected quicker in comparison to 5 days, where it'll be irreversible damage, and that will be your guys' fault. And whatever, you're just a girl, and it's like, yep. All right, so when outside speaking, I think his name was Senior Jamie or something. I think that's who it was. I was like, hey, you might get a complaint from whether, in regards, it could be from her, from me interrupting the scene. And it wasn't to be rude in that regard at all. It was for her own safety. However, you also might get a complaint from the males who were going after her. And, okay, it was consensual and stuff like that. However, I don't think it's consensual when it comes to the damage to the kidneys. And so, just as, a forewarning, so that way, so that way you do your house, your rules, how you do things is how you do things. And I'm just, letting you know. Well, that was like literally the only TNG event that I went to, because it was just not because of Senior Jamie at all, not at all. I had gone to other events at his house, or at his place, but that particular, was not willing to deal with that at all, because it was just one of those, okay, fine, you're going to college, good for you. I mean, you're in college, congratulations, good for you. I'm not going into this. If you knew the studies that I have gone through. Yeah, but do you have a college degree? No, I don't. I have some scuba certifications, but I don't have a college degree. Well, your scuba certification doesn't mean anything. I have a scuba certification. I have more than a scuba certification. But okay. What? You got what? And it's like, I'm not going into it. I'm just gonna leave that one as it is. I'm just gonna leave that alone. Well, scuba diving isn't a real... Okay. Sure. I would guesstimate there's some scuba divers that take it seriously, that would very much differ with that opinion of yours. And you know what they say about opinions, right? Lady Dori, Belle, you're so rude, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Okay. So the next event that I had seen Travis or HC Coyote at was at an event in Round Rock. And he showed up and he was like, oh, you're here. And it's like, Yep, I sure am. And I was talking with whoever I was talking with on the couch. And he went, you need to move to some other people that I was speaking with. I'm like, you don't have to if you don't. It's like, all right, whatever. You're being all domly, huh? At a snark event. Uh-huh. Throwing a temper tantrum about double. And so, at that particular one, we had discussed certain things, and it started off friendly-ish, and then it was one of those, well, I've studied this, and I've studied that, and blah, 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 from, Travis or HC Coyote. I was like, okay. Lady Dori, Belle, you should learn how to use words. Have you ever taken Latin before? And he goes, Latin? Why would I take Latin? Well, Latin and Greek are the majority of words that you use nowadays. Like the English vocabulary, among several others. There are 5 Romantic languages that the majority of their words are Latin based, and you have the additional aspect because of it being in Rome, and then the Greco-Roman era. In that sort of regard, you have some words where the prefix is either Latin or Greek or both. Same thing with the suffix of the word. And so, if you want to tell me that I need to know my words, I took 2.5, 3 years of Latin. So, just gonna throw that out there. I mean, if you want to get into certain things, I only use the scientific name, which is based in Latin. Like, scientific names are based with Latin prefixes and suffixes as well as roots a lot of times, and there's not usually much Greek in there. It's usually Latin. Whatever, that doesn't mean anything. Okay. Is that you being dumbly? Don't you? Snark party. Snark, and you want to tell me? I should learn my words to use them correctly. I mean, by technicalities, if you want to go into that, you came over to where I am sitting to start a conversation with me. Does that mean by words that you what? Lady Dori, Belle, why do you have to have such a sarcastic attitude? At a snark party? Okay. So then one of the last particular in-person events, not the last one that I had seen him at, but the last one where there was like an actual discussion-ish, was Cinco de Mayo in 2010. I think it was 2010. It was 2011. I take that back. It was 2011. So this had been going on for a while as far as HC Coyote or Travis having his issues. And so I had a female that I was going to play with, and one of the individuals who's like family to me there's other issues that occurred prior to that event, throughout the event, and stuff like that. And he was using one of the tools that I had custom made by one of the guys in the community. Fantastic craftsman, fantastic carpenter. You know, he talked me out of some of the stuff that I wanted built, but you know. But for the stuff that he didn't have to talk me out of, to exact specifications. And so, yeah. So, whatchamacallit, and actually the people who are like family to me, they have some of that furniture that I had him build for me. And so, I think that possibly Flamey has the table set. I think that's where that one is, and they have the cross at their house. And so, whatchamacallit, at Cross's house, but Master Wolf is the one who built that, and to my specifications, my colors, all that sort of stuff. And so, in this area, there was a pop-up tent. It was one of those big ones. And Cross was doing his thing with some of my paddles that I had custom built, and Travis had some female on the cross, and instead of using a shorter whip, which he did have, he had shorter whips that he could have used, and it was one of those. I was watching how he was moving, and it's like, I am not going to allow it. After what already occurred before them playing right now, I'm not going to allow that cracker to hit him. That's not going to be pretty. It's going to suck for you. Yeah, I don't care. And so after several minutes of waiting because he purposefully was moving back and forth, so where he would throw the whip, it would stop that from hitting the guy who's like family to me, or one of the females he was playing with, which again, that is what it is. That is what it is. But then also preventing me from walking by. And there wasn't a clearance for me to go around in any other way. The way I am, I would have found another way. However, couldn't, because of the way the backyard was set up at that time, and the amount of people that were just watching. And there was another scene that was going on in this area. It's just like, literally just, and so anytime I almost was able to, he'd swing, and it's like, okay, I've been nice long enough. Excuse me behind you. And it's like, that one was going to hit, and that was not going to be pretty, because the way he was standing, where the longer part of the whip was that Travis or HC Coyote was using, it would have hit both one of the females as well as the guy of the people that are like family. And it's like, I can't. That will not go well. I'll catch the whip when it comes towards me, but that'll be too late for you, because it'll already have hit both of them, and that's just not okay. And then you'll have three people. And so he threw a temper tantrum, and he just kind of, and he turned around, and I'm like, excuse me. And just walk by, and the guy who's like, he's like, hey, what's going on, Lady Dori? I'm like, you having fun? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, cool. You ready? A female, yeah. And it's like, if you don't mind, just give me a minute. I just need to, I need to prepare myself right now. And she's like, okay. It's like, yeah. So So like about 3 or 4 cigarettes later, it was like, okay, I'm calm enough. I'm calm enough to do this now. So we talked a little bit and stuff like that while I was smoking, and then talked a little bit after. It's like, okay, which ones are you okay using? Da da da. We go over the whole thing and go and play for a little bit. She had fun, and then I was like, okay, I can sense that you're about to go a little too floaty. And I know that's not like the best term, but that is what it is. And it's like, I'm not going to send you that far into subspace. Like, that's just, I can already tell you're already like very much there. So I'm gonna pull back on that one, and ended the scene and that sort of stuff. And then the rest of the night, well, later, I think it was later after, it was partially after meeting with the female and stuff like that, and her being like, oh, I want to have your children. No. No. Oh, I can get pregnant. No. We can take eggs. No. I no. You, no. No. And, but we could get married. No. No. But I don't want to. No. No. I can play with females. I cannot actually be in a relationship like that with females. I learned. And I'm like, no. I can play. We can have some fun. That's it. That's it. Other than that, I'm the type, like, I am a pansexual. I am. However, like, relationship wise, like, yeah, no. I'm not gonna be like that with a female, but no. I might try it, like, in different contexts, but definitely not that. I don't like, no. Oh, but it won't. No. No means no. And so, during around that time, while dealing with all sorts of other stuff, then, I go on FetLife while checking emails as far as, like, what was going on with the lost lawyer stuff and that. And there was this thing as far as Travis had posted. And he had made a comment in specific in regards to people coming up behind. And I knew that I was the only person who had done that. It wasn't like there were a bunch of people who had done that. It was literally just me. And I was like, nope. So I explained it. And then it just, after that, it's like, okay. And then there was a point where Travis, or HC Coyote, had written that he would pat me on my head. I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. My hair is this short because my hair is heavy and I have headaches and migraines. And it doesn't realistically matter for certain people what type of hair your hair is. People with headaches and migraines can feel the difference when it comes to the length of hair. And so I used to have long hair. My hair used to be like, there was a point in time where my hair was to here. But after my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, the longest my hair had been was to here. And my headaches and migraines were horrific at that time. My hair got shorter and shorter, different lengths and stuff. And then when I did essentially this hairstyle, it was like, that's it. Like, I can't go longer than this for my hair, not with my headaches and migraines. That's it. So how do I do a more feminine look? Okay, well, I'll dye it so that way it's more feminine and blah, blah, blah. It's not like I didn't have it in my profile. I would guesstimate at least one of my YouTube videos have discussed my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 and my headaches and migraines. At least this one I can say for certain. I don't know how many other ones, but at least this one. And so, that was a threat to me. Him saying, we had already met multiple times in person. Multiple times. He had come at me multiple times in person. And while a lot of people didn't know because of the way I am, I didn't really discuss my issues with him with people. It was just one of those, you're not worth my breath to complain about. You're not worth my time. I'm dealing with all sorts of stuff. You are definitely not worth my time to complain about. And so nobody at the time between 2010 up until that point had any idea that there was any issue. Nobody, like, even when I had spoken as far as like with Senor Jamie, like the way I had brought it up to him was just factually based. It's just like, this is what it is. He didn't know that there was any, issues beforehand as far as the TNG thing. And I didn't want that, not that I didn't want it not known, but when going and bringing that forward, it's one of those, I just want you to know for safety precautions. If I go into the, background of that sort of stuff, then you're going to think that it's, this one thing. So I just have to do the fact-based thing. And just, this is a safety issue. Yes, it's BDSM. Yes, adults consenting and stuff. However, it's not just, one aspect. So in that regard, yes, I could have, but that was the least of my concern at that time. It would, like, that little sort of stuff that just, I don't have time for that, which is part of the reason why I didn't deal so well with the aspects of the TNG Austin community at that time. It's just one of the, I don't have time for that. Like, I don't. Like, I mean, you can talk about your opinions and your feelings and stuff like that. I'll listen and we can talk and I can give you suggestions. But if you're just going to whine and complain, I don't have time for that. I don't. I just am not that type of person. I haven't had that luxury of being able to, I guess by technicalities now, in regards to this stuff. But, it's one of those, in that regard, as long as there were, like, I'll admit, if there were misunderstandings on my part, I will apologize. Instantly. In person, no problem. Video, whatever, no problem. I will flat out admit where I'm wrong. That's something that I am accustomed to. I've had to be, especially when it came to the issues after my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. That is not a submissive quality, by the way. That is quite very much acknowledging where I went wrong. So if I've made a video in regards where I have been inaccurate, I will apologize. If I have written something that is inaccurate, I will apologize. And not just in one way, in multiple ways. However, if I am accurate, then I am accurate. And that's the end of it. And so in regards to like my Medal of Honor art project, and or a bunch of other things, what I've written, all that sort of stuff as far as finding a silver lining, finding the silver lining, I got no problem admitting that I'm not 100% right. I made mistakes over the years. I'm not the only one. I'll admit where I'm wrong. However, in regards to my Medal of Honor art project and stuff like that, if there were issues in that regard, and it came and stemmed from the state of Texas area, like I have a guesstimation it did, it's one of those, no, I have this thing. It is what it is, however you want to put it. However, like for example, a prior video, it's one of those, I didn't even know that Club Femme began in Houston. I still feel bad for not knowing that. I genuinely thought it started in Austin. It just made sense to me. It really did. Although thinking about some stuff in Houston, I could see that. I could see that. I could see that very easily. That makes sense. Nonetheless, it made sense to me at the time of but it is my apologies for not knowing that at all. It just made sense to me that it started in Austin. So, but in that regard, there is the apologies. And and so if in regard I'm wrong, I'm the first to apologize. However, if I'm not, and there are those groups that got together and decided, hey, this is going to be a great idea to go, that was dumb. That was dumb to cause problems. My Medal of Honor, our project, by a lot. Going back to, I could be your best friend or your worst enemy. It's your choice. I would hope that nobody in the scuba diving community would be involved with some of that stuff of causing problems to my Medal of Honor, our project. But, you know, at this point, I have no idea. This is one of those, there are so many areas that I have been involved with in my life. That's one of those, I would think that most likely not from scuba divers. I would think. But I could be wrong. I could be. But as far as like the Austin area, I could very much see certain aspects in that regard. And if that had to do with the TNG community at the time that I knew them. Well, I gave you the warning back then. Be your best friend or your worst enemy. I prefer to be friends. I prefer to get along. Isn't it funny that it's get along, little doggy? Isn't that a saying? And I was born in the year of the dog. And so, I know 2/3 of a pun, and you know, I mean, you know, scuba diving and planning your dive and stuff. So, on that particular point, you guys have a go. Like and share and subscribe to my official channel.